All right, in this video, we're going to go over the general things you want to consider when creating walls in your project. The previous video, we started the new project. Now we're in that project and we're going to work with it. And of course, first thing we need, other than, of course, we don't have a site plan on this particular file, and you won't always have a site plan on your projects to begin with. Sometimes that comes later, but for a lot of our projects we're going to do in here, like especially our design challenges, won't necessarily include a site plan. So here we are in the basically getting ready to do a building plan. We're on level 1, and the first thing we need to do is define where our walls are going to be. All right, and so you click on walls, and of course it gives you just a basic wall to begin with. Now, depending on the wall that is specified, it could be one of many different walls that are specified for the job that you're doing. Let me fix that camera there. That's not fixing it. There we go. That's a little better. Many different types of walls. So what you need to do is look through here, which these are all mostly commercial walls. You need to look through here and find something to base your wall on, a template basically, and you're going to edit that template. Let's say if I'm doing a house that has, or actually the closest thing we have to a typical residential wall is going to be this one, exterior brick on metal stud. And that could actually be a residential wall if you wanted it to be, if that was specified. But typically we're not going to fully specify it exactly the way this wall is in the system. But this is a good one to start with. Sometimes if you really just want to start raw, you can just pick one of these down here and just do some editing on that as well. But for most of our residential exterior walls, we can use this one, this brick on metal stud. And then of course we're going to go in here and we're going to edit that brick on metal stud. So we pull up this window here, and I did that by clicking on edit type right there. And first thing I want to do is duplicate it. I don't want to change the original because I might use that for something else later in this project. So I'm going to duplicate, and I'm just going to call this, and I'm going to name it something that relates to the wall features. So I am going to make this one brick on timber stud. Oops. Brick on timber stud. If I was going to have some different type of finish on the outside, I might call it whatever that finish is going to be. Instead of brick, maybe it's wood or lapboard or one of many different limestone, anything like that. So we're going to go brick on timber stud, and then we're going to click here on this edit bar, and we're going to edit some of these features that are in here in the different wall layers. I do need this thermal air layer. However, 3 inches is not required, but you can leave it like that. It's not going to hurt anything. Membrane layer, this one we don't need. Oh no, we do need that one, but we do need to change it to, for residents, we need to change this to a vapor barrier, or vapor retarder. Okay, and it still has 0 thickness because it's just paper thin. Substrate can stay the same as 3/4 inch plywood. Metal stud layer must change. This one has to change to softwood lumber in this case. All right, and of course we want to change the thickness of this because we're going to be building our house with 2x4s. So the 2x4 thicknesses, of course you got 2 measurements, on a 2x4, and they're basically 1.5 by 3.5. So I'm definitely going to put this on the 3.5 inch side. That's the way the wall is going to be created here. So if I can get a preview here. All right, so basically the timber is going to be, facing this way, kind of vertically according to this picture. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of this interior membrane layer. You can have that if you want, if it is specified, but we really don't need it for this project or for most of our residential projects. All right, so I think we've got everything. We've got all our sizes correct, and what have you. Click OK, and then click, everything's good here, click OK again. All right, so now I have the wall that I can make my exterior building with, and whatever shape that I desire or that my client desires or what have you. I'm just going to draw something here. I'm not no real plans to this. Okay, so you've laid down your walls. Okay, and for walls, that is it. That's really all you have to do. The next video, stay tuned for the next one, I'm going to show you the next step, which will be to place floors and ceilings.